Today we'll see about internal memory organization, how the memory is organized in 8051. Okay, how it is organized, that will be seen. Hope you can see the screen now. Internal memory organization. It has 8051 has internal RAM and ROM memory. Um, Random access memory and read only memory are the two memories. 8051 it uses Harvard architecture. So there are two architectures, von Neumann architecture and Harvard architecture. Here our 8051 is using Harvard architecture, which uses same address. It will use the same address for both memories for code and data. Fine. So first we'll see what about this internal RAM. Internal RAM has 128 byte internal RAM is organized into three distinct areas. Okay, it has three distinct areas. One is our banks. All the bank 0, bank 1, bank 2, bank 3 is one area. So nearly 4 banks, and each bank has 8 registers from R0 to R7. So 8 4s are 32. It will go 32 bytes will go there only. So 32 bytes from 00H to 1FH, that make up the 32 working registers organized as 4 banks of 8 registers each. Okay, that is one. When one in 128 byte, so 32 bytes will go for the banks. So the 4 register banks are bank 0, 1, 2 and 3, which is having 8 registers from R0 to R7. Each register can be addressed by name or by its RAM address. You can go with the its RAM address, or you can name it also, like R0, R1, R2. Okay. So if R0 of bank 3, okay, if you want to select R0 of bank 3, you can write it as R0, or you can write its address as 18H. Okay, the address of R0 in bank 3 is 18H, and bank 3 should be selected. By default, always bank 0 will be selected. To select bank 3, what you have to do? You have to use the bits of, that is RS0 and RS1 of program status word, PSW. In PSW, you have this RS0 and RS1. That bits should be used to select bank 3. By default, bank 0 will be selected. So you can address by the name, or you can address it, you can take the bank 3 by its address also. Next is register banks are not selected. If they are not selected, if you are not selecting this as the banks, they can be used as general purpose RAM. Okay, for general purpose we can use, for storing the data it can be used. So this is about the 32 bytes of RAM. Okay, 32 bytes of RAM from 00H to 1FH. In 128 byte RAM, you have to remember all these numbers are in 128 byte internal RAM. 32 bytes is going for our working registers, which consist of 4 banks. Next we have 16 bytes will go for bit addressable area. Okay, all the 16 bytes, all that addresses can be they are bit addressable. Each and every bit of that memory can be addressed. Okay, 16 bytes occupies RAM byte. So the addresses are from 20H, that is 20H to 2FH. Fine. The address is 20H to 2FH, forming a total of 128 addressable bits. So one bit if you add, it will be 128. Why it is required? This addressable bit addressable bits are useful when program needs only binary event, like switch on and off, or 0 or 1. Okay, for that binary events, this bit addressing is required. So the bit addressing area has 16 bytes, and the address is from 20H to 2FH. And next, the third is a general purpose RAM area above the bit area. Okay, above the bit area we have a general purpose RAM area from 30H to 7FH. This is the address for general purpose RAM. So it is been divided into three. One is the 32 bytes bank, next is 16 bytes bit addressable area, and the third one is general purpose RAM from 30H to 7FH. So first you have to write the theory of this, then you have to put this figure. See, this figure is important. This is the internal RAM organization. Fine. In internal RAM organization, we have working registers We have bit addressable and we have general purpose. Okay, 3 divided. One is working registers, bit addressable and general purpose. In working registers, we have 4 banks. Bank 0, Bank 1, Bank 2 and Bank 3. Okay, so in Bank 3 we told we can call them by their name, that is R0, R1, R2, R3, or you can use their addresses. So in Bank 3 the R0 address is 18. Okay, and in Bank 0 the R0 address is 00. Getting it? And in Bank 1 the address of R1 is 09. Like that you can address them with their addresses, or you can use the names of the banks, like names of the registers R0, R1, R2. So these are the working registers. Next 16 bytes are given for, and the address will start from for this working registers it is 00 to 1F. You have to mention this. You have to mention all the byte addresses and from 00 to 1F. Next for this bit addressable, that is 16 bytes bit addressable, the address is from 20 to 2F. 20 to 2F. All this 128 are bit addressable. From 00 to 07, again 08 to 0F, they are used for bit addressing. So, and again from 30 to 7F, they are the general purpose RAM. Okay, in this way the RAM is divided into or organized into 3 distinct areas. This will tell you about the internal RAM organization. Getting it? Next we'll go with our program just to find the square root of a number. I had given this example before, so first I'll do that example once again. How to find? See, it is used to find only for the perfect squares like 4, 16, 25, only for that. If you come somewhere in the middle, if you want the square root of 5, 3, okay, for all that this method will not be applied. So how we'll go that? Go with the number. If you want 16, subtract the number with the odd numbers. Okay, the odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, like that. You subtract until you get 0. Until the answer becomes 0, you have to keep on subtracting and count how many times you are subtracting. That is important. You have to count the number of times you are subtracting. So whenever you get the logic like this, you should think. So what to do with the, we want a register to store the odd numbers now. Okay, this 1, 3, 5, 7 should be stored. Imagine that you are sending the number 16. So it should be subtracted from 1, next it will be subtracted by 3. So to store these odd numbers, one register will be used. And how many times I am subtracting, for that also one register should be used. So think that for odd numbers I am using register R1, and how many times we are subtracting, we will use the register R2. Getting it? And when the subtraction completes, okay, when it becomes 0, so whatever we subtract, that answer will be stored in the accumulator. So we have to use the instruction to so that the subtraction will stop there and the control will come out of the loop. So for that we'll go with the instruction jump on 0. Okay, jump on 0 means whenever the content of the accumulator becomes 0, it will jump out of the loop. It will come out of the loop and it will go, or the control will shift to the label where you have mentioned, what we have mentioned in the program. And just assume that the number which we want to find the square root, that number is stored in the memory location 40H. You can take any memory location in the, okay, so with for this example I'm taking it as 40H. So assume the number is stored in the memory location 40H. So whatever our memory location is there, that 40H is sent to the register R0. Okay, next this odd number we have to subtract, no, that 0, 1. So we'll start with odd number, we'll start with 1, that I have sent to R1. Okay, to count the subtraction, that is 0, 0. The subtraction should start from 0, 0. So I'll send it to R2. So these are the 3 registers. This way you have to decide what you want. So next what we'll do, so whatever the number is there in this location, in 40H you can give any number, perfect squares whose the square root has to be found. So send that R0, okay, whatever is the content of the R0, send it to the accumulator. So first in 40H, think that I am sending the number 16, that will go to the accumulator. Okay, after going to the accumulator, what it should do, it should subtract with the odd number. Okay, so in accumulator we have 16, that is subtracted with 1. That is 16 minus 1. So once we have done the subtraction, so what we have to count it, no? So we'll increment R2. So in R2 it was 0. Now increment R2 means it will become 1. So one time I have counted how many, that loop should be running. It should count how many times we are subtracting. And after incrementing, if that after subtracting, if it is 0, okay, after subtracting, if the content of the accumulator is 0, then give a label and jump out of the loop. What I'm telling, jump on 0 to L1. So L1 is the label. So in L1 what we have written, so whatever is there in R2, I'm sending it to the storing it in 50H. Think that you are storing the result in this memory location. Okay, R2 result is stored in 50H. Okay, R2 will tell the count how many times the subtraction is done. So if it is not 0, okay, if it is not 0, then it will come for next line. It will check whether any carry is generated. Carry means some borrow will be generated. Okay, if borrow is generated, that means it is not a perfect square. You have given some numbers in the middle, so that also it cannot find the square root. So then also you have given a label like go for L2. L2 means no operation. Okay, NOP. NOP is the mnemonic that is used to indicate that no operation is done. Okay, so the control will come for L2. So after these two conditions, fine. After these two conditions, so once it is subtracted by 1. So next I have to use next odd number. So just by giving once increment R1, the one when it is incremented, it will become 2. So 2 is not an odd number. It should be incremented twice to get a odd number. So 2 times we will write increment. Increment R1, increment R1. So now R1 will become 3. Okay. So again short jump for loop. It will come here. Again it will subtract whatever the number, that is 15 minus 3. Okay. The loop will continue till the content of the accumulator will become 0. Soon after completion or after the subtraction, it will come out of this loop, and whatever is there in R2, that will be stored in 50H. So what is there in R2? That is how many times the subtraction is done. That count will be there in the register R2. Okay, that count is done by using the instruction increment. So INC is the instruction that is used for increment. We have DEC. Now DEC is used for decrement also, that is not told still, increment and decrement. So for this example, 4 times it is been subtracted. Okay, that count will be done. So the square root of 16 will become 4. These are the two labels that are used to store the this label that are used to move the control. Okay, and short jump is, you see, short jump are unconditional jumps. Okay, no condition, just we are telling to do the jump here. And JZ and JC are conditional jump. Okay, this is jump on carry and this is jump on 0. That is, it will check the contents of the accumulator. So this is the program to find the square root of a number. Just you should get an idea of how to write the program. Next we'll see, I have just given some assignment questions here. Okay, so before going that, we'll stop the record. Thank you.